All right. Um, Good evening, good night, whatever you want to call it. Right now, I can't sleep, so I figure why not go live, be productive. I was gonna do a more deep dive video, but really didn't feel like it. I'm struggling with this thing where it comes to where you just don't feel like doing something because you don't see the progress that you want, but you still keep going because if you stop, you'll never get any progress at all. And that's how I feel about this YouTube stuff. Sometimes it's just like sometimes you just want to make a lot of progress in one night, and other times you understand it's a process that takes a while. Do you like? I don't know what that is. Anyways, but yeah, hope everybody's having a good night so far. If you haven't subscribed or liked, like and subscribe if you're brand new. I don't do too many lives from my phone. I normally just do it on my desktop, or I just do like a regular video that edit and upload. Yeah, am I posting that? I don't know where that came from. I'm just gonna say okay. I'll look at that later. So I just went ahead and put a poll up. Just pretty much asking, are you all tired of Trump yet? Lord knows I am. There's just too much stuff that he just keep doing. Too many executive orders, too much changes that he's just trying to make that doesn't make any sense. And it's just the craziest thing. Hello, Dayton77. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm just a little tired of Trump. All the changes he keep trying to make, and some of the stuff that just don't make any sense. Um, just like most recently, he came out that he wants to change Washington D.C. the District of Columbia to the District of something America, something along those lines. What is the difference between? I mean, I can't tell you that, man. I guess you had to answer. Thank you for the compliment. So, what is the difference, Jeremy? What's the difference? But yeah, I was just talking about that. It just doesn't make any sense that the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. At first, that didn't make any sense to me, but then I was like, wait a minute. There's all kinds of laws and stuff in there that we can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico for the most part. So if you rename it, maybe that's a loophole. I don't know. I'm tired of Trump. I'm tired of Elon. I'm just tired of everything right now. Yeah. But yeah, I was also talking about this the whole entire journey of just doing this whole entire YouTube thing and um making sure you don't go too far and make sure you limit yourself to what you want to say or what you can say. You have no idea. I was know that you don't like black eyes. That's really hit or miss, to be honest with you. I know it's a lot of Latinas that will just totally disregard black men and go straight towards the white ones. And sometimes you do have a few that will prefer black men, but those are normally the Puerto Ricans that'll be more accepting of black men, from my experiences anyway. 9 times out of 10, I normally see them go for the white guys, so I couldn't tell you. I guess you have a Latina crush or something. Apparently, I don't know. And if you're watching, make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. Um, let's see, what's my poll doing right now? 50-50. 50-50. So half of you, half who voted are tired of Trump, the other half are not. All right, that works. I'm not going to complain on that. Let's be honest, you guys. I mean, here's the thing, though, right? I seen women have a preference for Latina men, white men, black men. It's all about what they're looking for at the end of the day, right? But as far as Latina women goes, I go back to my original statement. I normally see them go for more than white men. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, the older you get, you start to realize that men and women aren't that different in that area. Um, it's just that us men, for the most part, has put women on a pedestal to make it seem like they don't. But if we really knew the truth about women and what they do, I think we'd be really surprised. I always told people, I told my younger cousins this, that have you at least get one good female friend that's not ugly. That's the key part. And just be friends with her. Don't mess around with her. Don't do no flirting. Just have her as a strict friend, and she will tell you all the secrets you'll want to know about women. I had a friend like that for the longest time, and I kid you not, she removed the veil over my eyes when it came to women and dealing with women in general, and knowing how to talk to and deal with women. So I always encourage people to have one good single female friend that's not ugly. And the reason I say that, because most likely the unattractive woman is going to be more into you, trying to have a crush on you, bending to your will, compared to an attractive woman who's your friend. She's not really going to do that for the most part. If I can guess, all right, well, I don't know what that question means, but if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. Um, that's some good advice. Listen, okay, let me think of something that she told me. One thing she told me, and this is also proven by my experiences too, for the most part, that if y'all haven't done anything, and I don't mean going all the way, but if y'all haven't at least kissed by the third date, she's not into you. Just move on. And she also told me that 9 times out of 10, most women will not agree to go out with you if they're not willing to mess with you on the first date, but some will hold out so they won't seem easy. So yeah, by the third date, if y'all haven't at least kissed, move on. Let's see. The only the one and only Nicole. Have you ever been to, I'm not even sure how that's pronounced. No, I haven't. I don't know how it's pronounced. Clearly, I haven't been there. What continent is it on? What country is it in? What side of the world is it? I'm kind of curious. So I do have my passport. I do want to do more traveling, but I'm waiting till after my daughter graduates. So that's the interesting one. What about, does that matter? Okay. Think of it like this. just like every single man is a different size, so is every woman. So there's not really a set answer to that because some women are more shallow than others, right? So, and that's the thing. Sometimes you could be compatible in a sense of y'all get along, y'all like to hang out, but when it comes to the physical, y'all just not compatible in that area. So you just got to move on and find somebody else. That's just what it is. It's not something to beat yourself up over. It's just that particular woman needed something that you didn't have, or maybe you had too much of. Not everybody can please everybody, and that's just growing up in maturity when you learn that. You know, I'm gonna have to look that up later. I'm on my phone right now, and my computer is in the other room. I don't feel like getting up. Like I said, it's a late night conversation. It's like midnight here. Well, actually, is it midnight yet? It's almost midnight. It's 11:28 Central Time. So I'm tired. I got work in the morning, but I'm not. I can't sleep. You know how sometimes you just have a lot of stuff going on in your mind, and you feel a little restless, and you're just like, okay, do I want to go ahead and just lay here and look at my ceiling, or I just come on here and see who I could talk to, some random strangers, some cool, some client, I don't know. But if you are watching, make sure y'all subscribe. I appreciate it. Um, can you talk about simping and how women and they show interest in men but have no intention in getting intimate with them? So, what do you mean by simping? Um, I feel like, and hear me out when I say this. I kind of feel like simping is gotten confused with being a gentleman at times. And what I mean by that is, do I think you should sit here and pay for a woman's bills that you're not in a relationship with, or pay for her stuff that you're not even messing around, y'all not even intimate, right? Then no, y'all definitely shouldn't do that, right? However, there's nothing wrong with going out on a date with a woman. Y'all both mutually like each other and paying for dinner. There's nothing wrong with opening a door. There's nothing wrong, old school chivalry. So it just really depends what you mean by simping. I kind of need like a better example. Now, if you're sitting here and you have a crush on a woman and you just buying her coffee, giving her money, taking her shopping, and she won't the only one to be seen with you in public, then yeah, that's some simping stuff, and you need to cut that out. But there's nothing wrong with being a gentleman and having chivalry. So that's why it's kind of hard to answer the whole entire simping thing. When was the first time you got? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like I got used by a woman? If that's what you mean, then when I was like, Jesus, everybody's been through it once. So I had that happen to me when I was like 18, I think I want to say. And it took another man to point that out to me that I was like, you know what, you're right. And I'm not gonna say I never did anything for a woman again after that because as a man, I feel like you should, because I'm old school. That also made sure after that point that it was being reciprocated and it wasn't one sided. It did, yeah, but not just meeting. You often had to ask to pay a bill for time meeting. I can honestly say I never came across a woman that has randomly asked me to pay a bill if we weren't in some type of situationship where if it was just friends with benefits or a full out relationship. I never been in that situation to where I had a woman ask me, "Hey, can you just pay this?" Now, what I will say when I was younger, because like I said, we all been used to finesse at one time or to strung along at one point in time. When I was younger, like 18, yeah, I got played. I got played hard and I got cheated on. But it is what it is. It was a learning experience. Um, And I know it sounds weird. I'm kind of grateful for that experience because it gave me wisdom that I could definitely pass on to other people, like I did my cousins, my brother, my stepsons, things like that. Um, an example of something would be she only messages you for attention every time you ask her on a date. She blows you off, but she'll always respond to you. Um, I wouldn't really consider that simping. I would consider that she's just not interested in you. You just gotta pay attention to it. But I will notice this: if you're always giving a woman attention and she's able to blow you off, it's the weirdest thing. Once you just kind of cut them off and start giving them attention, they'll normally do a full 180. Or you start talking to another woman and giving her the attention you gave her. Then they want to start competing for your attention. Even though they may not want you, they just don't want you to be with somebody else. I hope I explained that correctly. Like I said, it's kind of tired. It's kind of late. I'm kind of tired, but they're doing that to you, man. Just go ahead and say forget it. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. Women like to be chased. They don't like to do the chasing. That's just what it is. And when you start chasing her, and she's used to that chase, to that thrill, to that attention, she's gonna come around and be like, you know what? Let me see why he stopped. Hey, you. Hope you're doing well. Having a great day. I am having a well, it's nighttime over here, but yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe too. Women play games, cat and mouse games. They really do play cat and mouse games. They really do. But it's in a large sense, if you think about it, it's men's fault that women do that. Because think about that for a second. We put women on a pedestal to be desired, right? We put women in like awe of awe, right? We done that most of the time, especially when you're younger. When you're younger and you don't have any experience, you're gonna pretty much think women don't poop, right? I remember when I was in like middle school, this the concept of a woman pooping was so foreign to me because I didn't think women did that. It's kind of like that thing. Like sometimes we just kind of think of women and we don't really think of them in a very realistic sense. But women are just like men. The only difference is they are more nurturers. They are nurturers. They nurture us when they're supposed to. They're supposed to nurture us when we're upset, when we're going through a hard time, when we're just frustrated with life. They're supposed to be there to help calm the storm, to help center and focus us. Things like that. So a lot of things you see in the world kind of twist that up a little bit, but not really, because it kind of goes in cycles. Women when they get older, they like the old school shiver stuff. When I say women get older, like when they get past their 30s, women in their 20s, they're in that whole entire independent woman era, right? But then they realize they're a little too independent at times, and sometimes they kind of miss the opportunities to have that long term love. And when they're in 30s, they try to find it, but they're kind of stuck sometimes. I'm not saying it's too late, but it's just a growing pains, right? And unfortunately, when you're in your 20s, when you're in the whole entire independent thing running wild, and this is for men and women, you normally don't have kids. And then by the time you go into your 30s and you're like, wow, I was being done in my 20s, you do have kids at that point, and that's a lot harder task for people to deal with. But you know what, though? I will say this. Man or woman, if you have a good partner that loves you and respects you and will do anything for you, and even though y'all may go through hard times and they may just absolutely just pee you off and make you angry, as long as y'all can work through it, stick with that person because the dating world sucks. The dating world sucks. I was married for a good little minute, and I will say I was the only one that was trying to work on the marriage to try to save it. And, it was one of those things I just had to let my wife go. I just had to let her go. And there are times to where I miss my ex-wife. Because when you're out here dating now, when you're out here seeing the women out here and you're seeing all the bullshit they want to put you, I'm trying to curse because when you see all the BS they try to put you through now, it's kind of like, okay, it takes two to tango, it takes two to make things work. Anyways, how many people voted on this poll? 17 votes. 17 votes. I hope 17 people subscribed. So 17 votes. Let's see. 47-53. So still almost pretty split almost. I need to get a drink of water, I think. Sometimes I feel we need to decipher lust versus love, because a lot of men out here are just lusting with women. And trust me, talking about, yeah, yeah. And that is very hard. I will say this: lust you don't have control over, but love you do. You cannot control lust. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot control lust, but you can control love. And I'll say it again. You cannot control lust, but you can control love. You cannot control who you find attractive, but you can control who you're willing to put the effort into. And who you're willing to put the effort into is your choice of love. And most people don't realize that. Most people don't want to make that choice. I had to, okay, I'm glad you had to do that at work. Temptation is there. Temptation is everywhere. It's at the workplace. It's at the gym. It's at the park. It's at the stores. But that's where self control comes in. And that's why I'll say, you can't control lust, but you can control love. Lust will get you a bunch of phone numbers. It'll get you a lot of different women or men in your bedroom. But love will get you a partner that will be there for you, that will take care of you when you're sick, that will help you when you're going down or feeling down. And that's the thing that, we're too, lust has came too popularized in love having. And I'll give you an example. When, if you think back to like the 90s and 2000s, R&B was one of the most popular forms of music, right? What was R&B for the most part? It was about, loving a woman, what you'll do for love, all this other kind of stuff. What was his name? Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? Um, Name any Michael Jackson song for the most part. Usher, You Make Me Wanna, etc. All these songs were about what they want to do to try to get a woman's attention or how they want to, even genuine differences. Genuine differences. That was a song I wanted to have played in my wedding. But, there was a lot of love back then. And then love just kind of went away. R&B died for the most part. But yeah, lust and love. I should do a whole video topic on that. Now I'm thinking about it. Jeremy, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate you, man. Comma 2028. Here's my thing about Kamala Harris. She ran a horrible campaign. Trump should have, in my opinion, Trump should have lost. It could have been a very easy win for anybody who ran a Democrat ticket who actually tried. If Kamala would have put in more effort, she would have won. And he wouldn't be in the mess that we're in right now. Now, me saying that if Kamala would have put in more effort, it's just a fact she would have won. But she was lazy with it. She should have hit the boots on the ground running as soon as she got the nomination. Now, do I agree how Kamala got the nomination? Not at all. I think there should have been an emergency primary and voting happening right away so we could pick the right person for the job. And where Kamala also messed up at, whenever she said she wouldn't have done anything different than Joe Biden was doing. When the American sentiment was not that at that particular moment. But Yeah, Trump should have been a really easy defeat. The only thing that saved Trump from the initial loss was when he was outside giving that speech and the pew pew happened. I'm not trying to use those words on his live, so I'm not trying to get it cut off. You know, when the pew pew happened, the attempt happened on him, and that re-energized his campaign. But sometimes I feel like Kamala lost on purpose because on the first 40, was it 40 days or 45 days, she didn't make a speech. She didn't really campaign. Nobody even saw or heard from her. And that hurt her because people was going really hard for her. Like really hard for her at first. And then whenever she did speak, it just wasn't good. So, it's one of those things that whoever is the best candidate, I hope will win. But what I'm so worried about right now, if I'm being honest with you, unless Trump passes away in office, I don't see him leaving on his own. He already tried not doing that on January 6th. So think about how with all the executive orders and things he's trying to do right now. I don't see him trying to get out the office, and he's barely been in office for what is it, March? He's barely been in office for 2 months, and he's stacking the deck to make sure that he doesn't leave. You love big women. So, Jim H, let me ask you a question. What do you mean by big women? Do you mean you like, what's the example, like Jill Scott big or Lizzo big? Because there's a big difference. I mean Lizzo before she lost the weight. Because, big women is just whatever. Okay, Wilbur, I can tell you're a troll at this point, man. How you going to say Comet 2028, then I think Trump should be king? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, Jim H, bigger the better. I'm a chubby chaser. You know what? Good for you. I know one of my best friends, I used to call her Marnie, and she always had guys chasing after her. She was a big girl, too. She was a real big girl. But she would always date these really skinny, toothpick looking guys. I thought it was the craziest thing ever. I was just like, dang. Like the optics of it, this didn't look right to me. But she was never seen alone. And she was always with a really skinny guy every single time I saw her. If you really voted for Trump. I mean, that's cool too. I mean, you vote for who you want to. But I'm just saying, in all honesty, if Kamala were in a better campaign, Trump would have won. I think she threw the election on purpose. Yeah, she had to throw that election on purpose because she didn't try to win. Nothing wrong with that. No, there isn't nothing wrong with that. Everybody lead loving. But yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate you. Um, thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, eventually I need to go to sleep, but it is what it is. 6 people. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and like. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, I'm just putting it out there. I'll give free. Okay, man. I guess you're um I guess you're trying to use this as a dating app. I don't know. I guess somebody who is a big woman, reach out to GMH. Apparently he's all down in, he's all in. He's all in. So that's funny. Tenacious J. Hi, how's it going? So where is everybody from that's still watching? If you're still watching, are you in the States? Are you overseas? I always get kind of curious. Last time I was on live, I had a lot of people from Germany, which kind of surprised me. I didn't think there was Taiwan. Okay, Taiwan's nice. Hi, how are you from there? I'm good. I'm from Florida. I'm in the one of the big four, so I'm in Florida. But yeah, I'm good. Taiwan. You know what? Taiwan, we owe you a great bill. Yeah, I'm getting tired now. A great deal of things just for the fact of um, you know, TikTok, right? Florida man. Yeah, I'm a Florida man, but I'm not that crazy. Yeah, every single time you say you're from Florida, there's things people come out Florida man. Which is kind of weird because California has a lot more crazier people than we do. But also, if you think about it, the interesting thing about Florida, Florida is one of the few states. The further down south you go, the more north you are. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So, like the top part of Florida, from like Pensacola to Jacksonville, is like all very like country, right? But once you get below Tampa, it's more like a northern state. It's very blue down there. It's very democratic down there. So it's always really interesting when people think about Florida. That's probably why they get so many crazy stories when it comes to Florida, because you literally have two states in one. It's just like night and day. I remember when the first time I went down to Miami, Orlando, West Palm Beach, um, Tampa. I was kind of shell shocked because it just didn't seem like the same place I was from. And almost everybody down there spoke Spanish too. It was just like people in the gas station that was walking and speak Spanish, but they kind of looked at you weird if you were speaking English. And not just that, there were people that were speaking um, some other language I didn't know. I was just like, I didn't recognize it, but it was really cool. You'll find more people there that don't speak English down in those areas that don't speak English than actual English. So, like I said, when it comes to Florida, the further south you go, the more north you are. Have I ever wrestled an alligator? Let me tell you something, man. I know people see videos when it comes to alligators and in Florida people. The only thing I can say, the only thing I've done for alligator is eat one. That's it. I know we have like the Florida Gators and stuff like that. The only thing I ever did for gator is eat one, and that's about it. Do you like Trump? Let me answer it like this: I do not like any politician. I don't care if you're blue, red, purple, or green, because those are the four primary colors of our political spectrum. I don't like none of you. None of them are really for the people. Every single one of them is trying to pick their own pockets. Every single one of them have their own agendas. So for me, I'm just here for the ride because I feel like that anybody who's in this office had to make all kinds of dirty deals to get there. And they're not really thinking about the average American person anymore. We haven't had one of those in over 50 years at this point, seems like. Kamala smash or pass. Have you seen young Kamala? And when I say young Kamala, look up Kamala Harris from like the 90s. And that'll be the answer to your question right there. Kamala, young Kamala was definitely be a smash because she was gorgeous. She was incredible. Um, yeah, honestly, facts. Thank you. And that's the thing though. People never wants to have that honest conversation about politics. I kind of feel like when it comes to politics, it's like a game. You either red or blue. And Granted, I did vote. I did vote. I would never say I would never not vote because what I tell people is that even though I may not like the presidential pick, there are always other things on the ballots that are more important for you to I won't say more important, also very important to vote for. Um, because to me, in my own head, and I have no proof of this, this is my own theory, that they normally already had a president already picked out. And my individual vote doesn't count as much because the electoral college is going to pick the president anyway. That's why I kind of wish they'll do away with the electoral college and it's let the actual people vote. We have the technology now to where the electoral college shouldn't be a thing. That's just my opinion of that. But when it let's see, hopefully he is different. I mean, so far he showed he is different. There are some things that Trump, even though I don't care for him, there are some things I do agree with. There's a lot of things I don't. But it's like that with any politician. I wasn't a fan of Joe Biden either. He was a straight up embarrassment. And I couldn't stand his ass. Let's see here. At me, but I'm just there to work, When somebody took away their message, I guess I missed it. Let's see, right? Braveheart RV. Trump isn't a politician though, and he's not red. He is new to the game, red or blue. Well, here's the thing though. Trump is a politician slash businessman. You can't say he's not a politician now because he's been in politics for 12 years, right? He was a president for four. He didn't get elected, but he was still trying to hang on to that presidential power in documents and things like that for 4 years. And he's elected again. So what hasn't been quite 12 years, but it will be 12 years at least. So you really can't say he's not a politician. So he's definitely a politician at this point. And let's not forget, he actually ran for president before. I think he ran in the 90s, I want to say. I have to look it up again. But Trump has ran before and this didn't get anywhere. The only reason Trump got any type of attention because of Obama. If Obama never got elected president, Trump would have never been president. Because whether you like to admit it or not, he got elected off of all his rhetoric he said about Obama, and that popularized him to get to that point. But yeah, Trump, he's definitely a politician, and at this point, I'm starting to question. It's not even what I'm starting to question. It's just like he seems more like a figurehead this time with all the stuff he's doing for Elon and get all the assets that Elon's getting. And I'm not a fan of Elon getting access to anything of ours. You know, that's just my opinion of it. But yeah, but you tell me a politician that's a straight up person, a stand up person, I'll be very surprised. But we know one thing that would really help America. I did mention earlier, if they got rid of the electoral college, that would definitely help. But the one thing that would definitely help, is they put term limits. They put term limits of all these people in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Because some of these people has been in there since, for 50 years, they're in their 80s and 90s, that can't even form a coherent sentence, but has helped moving direction of our country. At some point, you gotta let go of power so progress can happen. And a lot of stuff that gets held back is about all these old people that are in office that are too afraid to let go of power. You see, he's changing the whole game, taxing other countries so he can abolish the IRS. He hasn't taxed them yet. And if you're referring to the tariffs, he hasn't done it yet. He's placed tariffs on, take them off, put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off. So he really hasn't done it yet. Um, I'm interested to see what will happen because I'm honestly tired of paying taxes. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really am. I don't know where my tax money is going to. it's kind of sad that whenever you're a natural born American citizen, you gotta pay a lot of taxes. But if you come in over here, um, I forgot what kind of visa what it is, you don't gotta pay those taxes, so they can get more money in their pocket. It's things like that that yeah, I didn't realize this until I didn't realize this till I had a somebody I used to work with that came over from Spain, I want to say, and he was telling me how he didn't have to pay the same amount of taxes that I do. On top of that, he was getting all kinds of tax breaks too. So I don't know. They say Trump got the electoral unpopular, but he definitely term limits. Let's see, power crust, absolutely, yeah, it does. I wasn't talking about the president. When I said term limits, I was referring to that to people in the Senate and House of Representatives. Those are the ones that need term limits. Of course, the president has term limits, but if you paid attention, there was a senator that tried to introduce a bill to allow Trump run for a third term. So they're trying to change that. But no, I definitely think that term limits need to be there for anybody in power. It doesn't matter if you're in the Senate, the House, whoever. I more me too. Taxes me working on worth it. I will say this: I remember when I was young and I worked like a crap load overtime. They could work like 25 hours overtime, and they took out so much in taxes that it made me want to cry. I was like, "This is almost the exact same amount of money I would have bought home if I didn't work all this overtime." And they were saying like, "Yeah, if you work more than 20 hours, you gotta pay a lot more in taxes." I didn't realize that at the time. So yeah, that's some BS what they be doing for that. And then if you don't pay it back in the right amount, you get all these penalties. This is such BS. What I really think should happen, what I really wish they would do would happen. That oh yeah, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But I really wish what happened if you worked through the pandemic, you don't got to pay taxes for like a few years, or you're forgiven for your taxes for a few years. So, for example, I had to work through the whole entire pandemic, right? I had friends and family that was making bank being unemployed. Because you got to think about it, they were collecting unemployment, and then the government was giving additional money on top of that. They were making more money unemployed than they were actually working. While I worked through the whole entire pandemic, I didn't get ish. I didn't get a dang, not a single thing working through that whole entire pandemic. So yeah, it's just crazy. What do you think? What do you think to send it to the House? Or are you gonna vote for term limits on themselves? Here's the thing: House, Senate. If it's the younger, newer politics, I can see it happening. The older ones, no. Well, actually, the older ones, I could potentially see that, especially they know they're on the way out. When I mean on the way out, they're about to pass away soon. W Black conservatives, walk the walk. Let's see. When marijuana becomes legal in Arizona, we're working 80 plus hours a week. Exempt for taxes during that time. Okay. I didn't know that was legalized in Arizona. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I've been noticing a lot of people have been moving away from like Atlanta and going to Arizona and I want to say North Carolina. Sorry, I had a few text messages there. But yeah, if y'all still watching, you like the conversation so far, so go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. Now, when it's legalized in marijuana in Arizona, is it this for medical use or is it for like this recreational use, like in I think in Colorado and Washington? I don't keep track of what states have it all legalized. I just remember Colorado was like the first state I want to say. And it's the only reason warehouse workers live on Fridays. You know what I find funny is not necessarily funny, haha, but it's like funny, ironic in a sense that alcohol is legal. And I've seen so many accidents and dumb decisions done from alcohol, but not from marijuana in any way, shape, or form. Right? I don't know. It's just really weird to me how, but I know why. I know why. It's, oh God. They, they started to make hemp, which, hemp comes from marijuana, right? Well, they made that illegal back around, was it before or around Prohibition? Because it was a cheaper form of making clothes and paper and everything else. So, so the lobby will go on lobby and, get it legal so they can get their interests pushed forward. Which I always find kind of interesting. Anything that could be um, make things easier, not just for the environment, it's for the American people in general. They find a way to do away with it. Just like the whole entire old school debate about Nikola Tesla and who was the other guy, the fraud, Thomas Edison. ALC smells good. They don't even let people roll it for you. And then recreational. It wouldn't surprise me if it's recreational in New York. New York is a very progressive blue state, so that doesn't surprise me at all. I wish it was legalized in Florida. It would make sense for it to be legalized in Florida, just for the fact that no, Florida is a very big vacation spot. Um, and that'll bring in like a crap load of revenue. Because who wouldn't want to just sit at the beach and just have a nice smoke? But in on top of that, it has been on multiple ballots for legalization, but either the governor will shut it down or we don't have enough over 50% to get it passed. It's like it's the silliest things. And I'm just like, okay, okay. But you know what? It is what it is, though. I can't complain. Ohio is legal all the way. Good for Ohio. Ohio's another very blue state too. I think so. I don't know. I'm getting sleepy. I'm about to get off here in a few and go to bed. I think I finally talked myself down to where I can go to sleep most likely. Really, Ohio is red? Okay. What major cities is Ohio? I know Cincinnati is there, right? So Cincinnati's in Ohio. What's another big city in Ohio? I've actually thought about that before. I honestly have. Let's see. The universe is expanding. What is it expanding into? But the way I see it is, I used to think about stuff like that. Then I thought about it for a minute. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be alive to see what it is anyway. So it don't matter. Columbus, Cleveland. What's round on both ends and high in the middle? I don't know. What is it? Oh, okay. I'm sleepy. I should have caught that one. That was good. I like that. I like that. You'll never leave Cleveland. Okay. I will say I was in Cincinnati a few years ago, and Cincinnati kind of freaked me out for all the green grass they had up there. Like I didn't know why it was so green. Like why was the grass so green up there? And I mean grass. I mean the little grass on the ground in Cincinnati was just like extremely green. I just didn't get it. Why is less so hard to defeat? Sorry, I went to go eat. Um, nature. I mean, if you want to get right down to it, it's nature. I mean, if it wasn't for lust, we wouldn't be here, right? On purpose or on accident, lust is what keeps people growing. It's just, it is what it is. Braveheart RV. So, what's the RV stand for? Like, do you live in an RV or? So I'm familiar with Braveheart. I don't know what the RV stands for though. All right. Well, I am getting tired. I can't keep my eyes open too much longer. I thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and check out some of my other videos too. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for conversating with me. And you guys have a great night. Thank you again.